On today's podcast, I want to talk to you about celebrating yourself ahead of time. So, I want you to think about something that you're going to do. So, for me, I use this when I'm creating content. So, right now, I'm creating a podcast episode, but I've already decided and celebrated myself ahead of time that this is going to be an amazing podcast episode. I also do this when I host live calls. So, when I am hosting a live call, I decide ahead of time, like, no matter what happens on the call, even though it hasn't happened yet, I've decided that I did an amazing job. And so, what this really does is it helps us take the action because I want you to think about it. Sometimes we kind of do the opposite of this, which is let's say you're trying to write a book and you're like, oh, it's going to be terrible. I don't know what to say. It's going to be so hard. No one's going to ever want to read it. What we're doing is instead of like celebrating ourselves ahead of time, we're like tearing ourselves down ahead of time. Like we haven't even wrote anything yet. And our brain's already telling us it's going to be terrible. And so, what I want to encourage you to do is actually do the opposite. Start thinking, this book is going to be so amazing. I'm going to write the words and it's going to like sound so good. People are going to love this. People are going to want to read it. It's going to be put together so well. I know exactly what to say. Because when you change that thinking ahead of time, then it's like, oh, of course, I want to write my book. Versus when you're thinking like it's going to be terrible, no one's going to read it, and all of that stuff. It's like, oh, why would I want to write the book if it's going to be so bad? And so I want you to start practicing celebrating yourself ahead of time. Think about the thing you want to do and start telling yourself how you're going to do a great job, how it's going to be amazing, how it's going to work out, how it's going to be fun. And then start taking the action from that place. Have you ever wondered why certain tools aren't working for you? Like writing a to-do list or scheduling things on your calendar or coming up with like your top 3 things you need to get done. If you feel like this isn't working and I don't know why, it's because your brain is in control of everything you do or don't do. And so where we actually want to start is with our brain. How do I get my brain to do something that it doesn't want to do? How do I get my brain to do something that it's actually avoiding? How do I get my brain to do something that actually is going to move me forward, even when it really doesn't want me to move forward at all? Go to successbykayla.com to get access to this video now. Because when you get access to the video, you are actually going to learn how to solve for the actual thing that's the problem. It's not the way that you scheduled your calendar. It's not the amount of things on your to-do list. It's not that you didn't prioritize right. It's that your brain is working against you. And if you want to work with your brain so that it's so much easier, go to successbykayla.com to get instant access to the video now.